Come to order. Good morning and welcome everyone to the organizational meeting for the 119th Congress. This Congress in particular comes at a very critical time for this committee and the American taxpayer. In just 6 days, President Trump will take the oath of office and spark a new era of American prosperity. The Ways and Means Committee will be central to delivering relief to Americans after 4 years of sky-high prices, high interest rates, and high uncertainty. This committee has a responsibility to make sure taxes do not go up on over 200 million filers in this country. Let's be clear, if Congress does not act, tax rates go up on every single American family, regardless of income level. The child tax credit would be cut in half. The standard deduction cut in half. The alternative minimum tax comes back to impact millions of families. The death tax snaps back in, and small businesses will pay a 43% tax rate. We have no time to waste. This committee will also have a long list of priorities throughout our jurisdiction to deliver on for the American people. We will fight the unfair treatment by foreign governments of American farmers, workers, and businesses, and open the door for more Made in America products to be sold around the world. We will grow and make more of the things we need here in the United States, reducing our dependency on China and other adversaries. We will expand patient access to the best health care, especially for rural communities. We will champion the most vulnerable in our society, including our children and seniors. Our work for the future is built on this committee's success in the previous Congress. We passed bipartisan tax legislation 40-3 in this committee and then passed the bill with 82% support on the House floor. It's been about a decade since that last happened. First in a generation, bipartisan child welfare reform advanced by this committee became law. It gave children in tough circumstances a greater chance of living in a safe, stable home and helping parents and other caregivers give the resources they need to care for their kids. We advanced pro-patient, pro-innovation healthcare policies to enhance access to quality care in every part of the country. We reasserted Congress's authority over trade, including greenlighting a trade agreement with Taiwan. Tomorrow, the House will take the next step and approve legislation that gives American workers and businesses fair tax treatment with Taiwan in our effort to boost American manufacturing jobs and the production of critical technologies like semiconductors while reducing our dependency on China. That was just the start. Our oversight agenda fought abuses of the tax code wherever present. After the October 7th attack by Hamas terrorists on the people of Israel, this committee conducted an investigation for months and developed legislation that ensures the tax code does not subsidize anti-Semitism at home and terrorism abroad. As laid out in the oversight plan we will mark up later, we will continue aggressive investigations on behalf of all taxpayers to protect their hard-earned dollars from waste, fraud, and abuse. In all our work, we listen to the workers, the families, the farmers, and small businesses of America. We held 14 hearings all around the country to hear from folks in their communities. Republican tax teams picked up the baton and crisscrossed the country too, holding over 120 listening sessions in 20 states to hear directly from Americans about how we can build on the Trump tax cuts. In this Congress, we will continue to put the concerns of America's working class first, the people who wake up, go to work, and come home to take care of their families and neighbors every day in communities across the country. These people will continue to be our top priority at the Ways and Means Committee. The Ways and Means Committee truly is the best, most important committee in Congress. There is not a single American who's not affected by the work that we do at this dais. Our responsibilities are spelled out in the Constitution, and the history of this committee, since its start in 1789, it tracks the history of America. The framers gave the House of Representatives the power to originate revenue bills in order to ensure greater power for the people over how they are taxed. It is the responsibility of this committee to protect that constitutional right for the House on behalf of the American people. And it is only as chairman I do not take lightly. Today, members of this committee, both Republicans and Democrats, represent the best that Congress has to offer. These colleagues are tireless in finding ways to improve the lives of those that they represent and all Americans. To my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, Republicans will work with you to achieve bipartisan wins when possible. We have a big responsibility to tackle the equally big challenges facing our fellow Americans. We must make the most of this opportunity and enact a pro-worker, pro-growth agenda that will deliver on the policies President Trump has championed and the American people have demanded. I look forward to rolling up our sleeves and getting to work. Before I recognize the ranking member, I want to introduce the new members of this committee. This committee has a storied history of members who later went on to serve at some of the highest positions of American leadership. No less than James Madison, America's fourth president and father of the Constitution, served on the first Ways and Means Committee. 8 Ways and Means members have gone on to become president of the United States. 8 have become vice president. 21 have served as Speaker of the House, and 4 became Supreme Court justices. I know these new members will help carry this proud tradition. Rudy Yocum continues the legacy of representation from Indiana's 2nd Congressional District on the Ways and Means. His predecessor, Jackie Walorski, was a beloved and deeply valued member of this committee whose service made a difference for families, children, and workers. Rudy's background in the private sector and northern Indiana's status as a manufacturing powerhouse will help this committee ensure America's workers and manufacturers grow and win again. Max Miller has devoted his life to serving his country. First, for 6 years in the Marine Corps Reserves, and then in the first Trump White House. His district encompasses both Fortune 500 employers and Ohio's rural farmland, giving him a unique perspective into different parts of our economy. At the start of the second Trump administration, Max will help us build on the success of the Trump tax cuts and make them permanent. Aaron Bean has built 4 small businesses and is a former Florida state representative, state senator, and now Northeast Florida's representative in Congress. His background will be invaluable as we help small businesses expand, create new jobs, and invest in their communities. Another title he wears is that of auctioneer. Having worked as a professional auctioneer for over 10 years, I look forward to seeing that skill set on full display when another former auctioneer, our next IRS Commissioner, Billy Long, comes to testify before this committee. Nathaniel Moran brings the values of faith, family, and hard work to Congress. He learned growing up in rural East Texas. He served his neighbors as a local attorney and then on the Tyler City Council. Nathaniel's background and service to Texas will be an asset in ensuring we protect rural America and main streets across the country when we restore and build on the Trump tax cuts. On the Democrat side of the aisle, we have several familiar faces that are returning back to us. Brendan Boyle serves as the ranking member of the Budget Committee, a job which I'm familiar with. With his return and Dwight Evans' continued service on the Ways and Means, the city of brotherly love is well represented on this committee. Stacey Plaskett, she is a very strong leading voice for the citizens of American territories especially the people of her home of the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we are pleased to have you back on the committee. And last but certainly not least, it's good to have Tom Swazi back on the dais. Even when he wasn't assigned to the Ways and Means, he would still frequent our hearings and activity. We are glad that you no longer have to watch from the audience. Please join me in giving a warm welcome for the new members of the Ways and Means Committee. I'm pleased to recognize the ranking member from Massachusetts.